Safe to say it's been a tough week for Dr. Disrespect. You see, I'm sure everyone here already pretty much understands the situation. The quick rundown is that years ago, Doc was banned off of a platform known as Twitch, and when that happened, it was very mysterious. Twitch didn't come forward and say why he was banned. Doc didn't come forward and say why he was banned, and there was no one who really wanted to step forward and say what went down. Nobody who knew. So the public had no idea what went down. There was a lot of speculation about a couple of different things. One of those being that he was given a mixer deal, or that he was planning on doing a mixer deal, or maybe even didn't have a mixer deal, but decided that he was going to say he did in order to get a better contract. That was one of, I think, the most popular theories. Mixer being, of course, a competitor to Twitch at the time. And another theory at the time, or no more so, just kind of these ambiguous tweets and things that were posted around, was some people saying that the big thing that happened is so big that they don't even want to come out and say it, because it's something they wanted to have more evidence and more proof of before coming out publicly with it. Now, after that happened, okay, it's been years. Nothing has come forward since, until this past week, where apparently a former Twitch employee has stepped forward to say the reason why he was banned was because he was caught messaging and wanting to and trying to meet up with minors through the Twitch Whispers app. Now, this has sparked fire all over the internet for a lot of different people, and a lot of different people are saying, of course, like, this is insane. If this is really why, that's crazy, which is true. That's just a fact. If that is actually why he was banned, that is horrendous. And the fact that we've gone this long without knowing is ridiculous. And ultimately, I think Twitch had a responsibility to publicly say this is what happened. But I think the reason why they didn't comes down to the fact that they didn't want people talking about how they were reading Twitch Whispers messages, because that's what they had to have done, is to read his messages, to see him talking to a minor at the time. And now, let's be honest, most social media platforms probably have the ability to, and probably do, read messages if they'd like to. And so it's not the craziest thing in the world. It just is a reality of the world we live in. But as a platform, you don't want to be talking about that. That's for sure. Now, when it first came out, it was just kind of something that someone said. And then some other people started to kind of come out of the woodwork and be like, yeah, that's what I heard too. And other people being like, yeah, I remember this is definitely what happened. And I didn't want to say anything, but it's out of there now. And so, of course, it left people very divided, right? There's no proof. There's no evidence. This could be just any random thing. This could be just some weird, disgruntled Twitch employee, former Twitch employee, wanting to come out and just say something, maybe because he doesn't like the doc. However, things only got worse for Dr. Disrespect, and it's because of Dr. Disrespect. Because he came out with this super PR-friendly statement just saying that, hey, Twitch paid me out, all right? There was no legal wrongdoing acknowledged. So let's move on. And I just want you to help me here. I just want you to help me by following this thought through, okay? If you are still someone who believes that the doc did no wrongdoing, and that because there's no hard proof that shows him explicitly messaging minors, then that means that he is absolved of everything, just bear with me for a second, okay? Say someone just walked in right now, okay, into a room of you and your peers. Maybe you're at your job and someone walks into your job and is like, "You're a pedophile. This man's a pedophile. He was messaging minors. He was doing these weird things." What is your response? Is your response, hey, listen. There was actually never any legal proof of me messaging minors, okay? Legally, I've done nothing wrong. Legally, what this person is saying just wasn't acknowledged, okay? Or is your response, what are you talking about? Get out of here. You're being ridiculous. That is just not true. That is just explicitly 100% not what happened, not true. That is not anything that has ever existed in this universe ever. Because to me, my response is the latter, okay? If someone accuses me of being a pedophile, I'm not going to walk around being like, legally, that's not true. My response is, fuck no, that's insane. Get the hell out of here. You're just talking and acting ridiculous. You're being crazy, poor person, right? And so when that happened, when he made that response, naturally, there was a big kind of shift, and a lot of people who were just kind of making jokes and being like, oh, if this is true, this is crazy. They just became kind of like, oh, this is actually probably true. The way that he's talking about this is very suspicious. The fact that his response is about the legality of the situation and not what actually went down is not good. And so now we've come to a point where today it's only gotten worse. Because Dr. Disrespect had created and co-founded a company to make video games called the Midnight Society. Now, listen, if you are a huge fan of Doc, I was a fan of the Doc. I was someone who bought into the Midnight Society, all right? I've met him. I have something signed by him somewhere. I don't know where it is now, and it's probably best if that's lost forever. If you're a fan of him, okay, I just need you to just listen to me and follow this thread of thought through. Because his company terminated him today. They dissolved their partnership together. He's no longer going to be affiliated with them, and they're no longer going to be affiliated with him. Now, I've seen a lot of fans try to say that this still doesn't prove anything. And still there's hard, concrete proof of messages or Twitch showing the correspondence or something that this doesn't prove anything. That, again, I've seen theories about some weird vendetta, that this has been some kind of coup and some kind of plot to get him out of there. And that ultimately it doesn't mean anything that his company terminated him. I just need you to follow this through with me, okay? Just take this simple thread and just follow it, all right? Let's start here, okay? Doc and Twitch are the two parties that know for sure what went down. There had to have been correspondence between the two about the situation. If it's true that it's about him messaging minors, which it most likely is, considering he didn't say and hasn't come forward saying that, hey, that's not why I was banned. I was banned for X, Y, Z reason. He is just saying that this thing that's been brought forward has legally not been acknowledged, which again is a weird thing to say. All right, let's go ahead and start there. Twitch and the Doc, they're the ones that know. Okay, they are the ones that have all of the information, and they haven't come forward. Twitch hasn't come forward, most likely because they don't want to talk about them peeking and whispering messaging. Doc hasn't come forward because he doesn't want anyone to find out ever that he's been messaging minors. I don't feel like that needs much more of a reason. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory, right? Okay. Now, for the past few years, they both have had this information. Neither have come forward because in this scenario, both of them have done wrong and both of them don't want to talk about it. So there's some under the table handshake going on there for sure. However, recently, there's been the allegations of what Doc has done. Okay, and now we go back, just follow the thread back a little bit further. We know that Doc has the evidence. Doc knows what happened. Doc can show this. He hasn't shown it for the past few years, but he can show it now. Where we are at now, he can show it and prove there was never anything that had to do with any kind of minor issue, whatever, that he could show it and absolve that now, okay? Especially when his company comes to him and says, hey, look, this is crazy. We need to know the truth. Talk to us. Show us what's going on. Now, Doc has the complete and total ability to tell his company that is not what happened. I have the evidence. This is the correspondence between Twitch and I from all these years ago, showing what actually went down and proving his innocence to his own company. That's what anyone would do, is that if a company comes to you where you're an employee, and if you're just a lowly employee, mind you, they will come to you and they will say, hey, this is getting out of hand. We need to know what went down. You whip out your phone. You show them this is what really happened. It is not true what they're saying. Doc could do that. There's no reason why Doc couldn't do that. Maybe you want to say that it was years ago and they no longer have the evidence. Doc's friends are on the board, all right? This company is made out of his friends. He could just talk to them and show them to his best ability about what went down. He could tell them exactly what went down. He can at least give them the true, real story of what happened. And he could do that to the public as well, right? And he could do that and at least have some semblance of being able to say that this is not true. He has no reason as to why he can't. And again, the fact that he wouldn't have, someone who works in a social media space wouldn't have any kind of email, any kind of correspondence whatsoever with Twitch is ridiculous. It's unbelievable. But even if you want to say that, he could at least talk about it. He could at least say it had to do with Mixer, it had to do with something else, it had to do with this or that, to his company, to the public. But he didn't. And so what happens? He gets fired. Because the company believes, okay, this has to be true. It's not anything to do with the public perception, because the public perception is brought onto him by himself. He could have said from the get-go what happened, and he did not, because more likely than not, he did it. And this is the situation he's found himself in. He could show it to his company, and again, the company can just say, oh, okay, well, let's get this out in the public and we'll be able to move forward. Or even if the company is like, oh, he's somehow tied up legally, they could still say, so currently, everybody, we've gone over the proof and we've seen things. There's still some legal issues, but Doc will remain on until we can try and get this all sorted out for everyone to see publicly. But that's not what happened. Their co-owner, they had to oust, because it's just a simple fact that he had the ability to tell them what happened, and he either refused to, or he came clean to them and refuses to come clean to the public. Which, to be fair, why? Why would he come clean, right? There's nothing that he gains from it. The only thing he can do now is right off into the sunset, which, according to his stream today, looks like what he might end up doing. Because, again, listen to me, all right? Again, if you want to follow the thread just a little bit further, if you're accused of being a pedophile or being someone who has talked to minors, do you just lie down and take it? Do you just be like, even though I have this evidence or this proof, or I know it really went down, do you just be like, oh, I don't care though. I just, it sucks, but I don't feel like showing the real truth. So I'm just going to walk out of here now. I'm just going to, do my final bow and quit my career, my incredibly successful career. Because you just don't feel like showing the evidence? Because the legal system is going to wrap you up so tightly you couldn't possibly tell the truth? No, man. You have to face the fact. This is certainly the issue that he got in trouble with Twitch for. It just has to be. Otherwise, he would say that it isn't. That is your proof. Every proof that you need comes from the doc himself. He has the ability to say what it is, what went down. He doesn't. He has the ability to show it went down. He doesn't. He has the ability to just flat out deny it had anything to do with minors. And he doesn't. He doesn't. And it's because he's guilty. Whether you want to look at it in legal terms or not, doesn't change the fact that what went down is what went down. It's what has publicly come out recently. If this wasn't the case, different things would be said, things would be shown, and Doc wouldn't be ready to leave his successful career right now. And so, it's simple. It's really that simple. And I'm afraid there's no other way to spin it, okay? Now look, this is all still alleged, okay? This is all still alleged. I can't say for certain this is what happened. And so I guess technically I have to say if something ever comes out, then good. Overall, I would be very happy. I would be ecstatic to know that this man wasn't messaging minors. I would be ecstatic if nobody in the world messaged minors, to be quite honest, if you're an adult. But the world we live in, I doubt it. This is my opinion, and my opinion alone, based on a heap of, I believe to be, tangible evidence leading to the fact that he did what he was accused of. And it's my opinion. That's all I have to say. I just want people who are so focused on needing to see messages or needing Twitch to come out and say something. I need you to just broaden your perspective and think critically for just this past 10 minutes or so, however long the video is, about what you've seen and try to explain why he hasn't just done something about it. Why he hasn't just showed you the truth. Because the truth is that the truth isn't pretty. And I'm sorry. I really am. Now, this has been Pulp Kino. My name is Kino. And I guess we'll see what happens. And if something does come out with a big update, I'll say something. But more often than not, I feel very confident this is the end. And it's about to peter out and be gone. So, thank you all for coming in. And if you're still really believing in the doc, well, I wish you the best. I really do hope that you come to your senses soon. And yeah, I'll just see you later.